Every financial outcome begins long before numbers hit the bank. It starts in the subtle emotional field a person sustains daily, the one shaped by their emotional alignment and quiet expectations about life. A mentor would say that money simply follows the emotional footprints we leave behind, much like a river naturally follows gravity. When someone holds an abundance mindset with consistency, not intensity, just steadiness, their energy becomes easier for opportunities to recognize. It's as if the world whispers, "Ah, I know this frequency," and responds accordingly. This is where wealth attraction quietly begins, long before any strategy takes place. People often assume money frequency is about visualizing harder or wanting stronger, but those impulses usually come from tension rather than clarity. Real vibrational wealth emerges when someone learns to feel ease even in moments where old patterns once signaled scarcity. A simple example is choosing calm breathing before opening a bill instead of spiraling into panic. This micro shift alters the energetic alignment far more than dramatic affirmations shouted in the mirror. It's funny how subtle the process is, almost too simple for the analytical mind to respect. Yet simplicity is where emotional coherence thrives, gently reorganizing a person's inner world to attract money more naturally. When someone sustains emotional regulation, their internal environment stops sending mixed signals, and the external world mirrors that stability over time. Think of how a musician tunes their instrument before playing. If one string is off, the whole melody collapses. Emotions function in the same way. If fear hums louder than faith, the song of wealth becomes distorted. But when emotional alignment settles in, the tune becomes unmistakably clear. Opportunities tend to hear this clarity and gravitate toward it as if guided by high-frequency emotions. You can see this in practical scenarios. Two people may have identical skills, but the one who carries abundance energy tends to notice openings the other overlooks. They're not luckier, they're simply less tangled internally, allowing their wealthy identity to operate without interference. It's like cleaning a foggy window. You don't change the landscape outside, you just remove the distortion that kept it hidden. Emotional coherence works like that, revealing pathways to financial breakthrough that were always available but previously invisible. This is why mentors emphasize inner work as the true catalyst behind wealth attraction. Some individuals try to manipulate life through sheer force, pushing outcomes with urgency, but force is a low-frequency companion. Money responds better to steadiness than strain, to an aligned nervous system more than frantic effort. When someone relaxes into emotional regulation, the universe treats it as a green light, almost as if saying, "You're ready to hold more." That readiness reshapes everything: choices, opportunities, the pace of progress. Even actions that once felt complicated begin to flow with surprising ease. This isn't magic, it's emotional physics. A person anchored in energetic alignment tends to enter rooms differently. Their presence feels grounded, open, and quietly confident. They speak with a rhythm that signals inner spaciousness, not emotional scrambling. Those around them can sense it even if they can't articulate what they're sensing, and they respond with trust, collaboration, and opportunities. It's the invisible handshake of prosperity vibration. Over time, this consistency becomes its own magnetic field, one that doesn't chase wealth but calmly invites it. And invitations are easier for money to accept than demands. As these emotional patterns stabilize, they create a fertile internal landscape where financial results grow with less resistance. The fascinating part is that the person often feels the shift before the external rewards appear. They say things like, "Something feels different," long before the bank statements confirm it. That sensation is the early pulse of vibrational wealth taking form. And if someone listens closely, really closely, they'll notice the emotional frequency sharpening, preparing them for the next layer of financial evolution, where stability reveals a surprising distinction between emotional calm and emotional intensity. People often believe that intense desire is the secret ingredient to attract money, but intensity without emotional stability usually sends a contradictory signal into the money frequency. It's like shouting affirmations while your nervous system trembles underneath. Your words say abundance, but your vibration whispers, "I'm not safe." Money responds to the whisper, not the shout. When emotional alignment steadies the inner world, desire becomes clean rather than frantic. And clean desire is far more magnetic than emotional fireworks. Think of emotional intensity as a spark and emotional regulation as the steady flame that keeps the fire going. A spark can light something, sure, but without consistent warmth, nothing truly grows. Wealth attraction follows the same principle. Abundance energy thrives where the emotional climate is predictable, grounded, and coherent. It's the difference between someone begging the universe for a financial breakthrough and someone calmly preparing for it because they already feel aligned with their wealthy identity. The universe trusts calm preparation more than desperate hoping. In real life, this shows up when someone tries to manifest money through sheer emotional force, visualizing aggressively, repeating affirmations with clenched fists, or hyping themselves into unnatural optimism. These efforts often backfire because they're performed from a place of internal instability. But the person who practices energetic alignment quietly, perhaps through deep breathing or grounding rituals, becomes noticeably more magnetic. Their high-frequency emotions don't scream, they simply resonate. And resonance attracts faster than effort. A practical example: two entrepreneurs launch identical projects. One wakes up daily in a state of pressure, chasing results with tense shoulders and a racing mind. The other starts the day with emotional coherence, taking 5 minutes to settle their breath, visualize stability, and choose an abundance mindset. Even if both take the same physical actions, their outcomes diverge. Why? Because clarity moves opportunities toward the regulated person, while urgency pushes them away. Money is surprisingly sensitive to vibration, almost like a friend who refuses to hang out with someone chaotic. People underestimate how much emotional safety influences prosperity vibration. When your internal world feels safe, your external world becomes more receptive to wealth. Stability tells the universe, I can hold more, and life tends to respond accordingly. Intensity, however, often signals, I'm afraid I won't get it, which creates an energetic mismatch. This mismatch is why so many people feel like they're doing everything right while nothing changes. They're sending two different frequencies at once. Stability solves that contradiction. Emotional stability also expands decision-making capacity. When someone isn't operating from urgency, they notice opportunities others miss: an aligned collaboration, a timely investment, a new revenue idea. Their emotional alignment supports them in staying present rather than scattered. They move with patience, which ironically speeds up their financial breakthrough because aligned action is more potent than panicked action. Even their conversations carry a different tone. People trust a calm mind more than an intense one. Over time, stability becomes the new baseline, and money begins responding with a kind of quiet loyalty. Suddenly, abundance feels less like a chase and more like a natural extension of who they're becoming. And when someone realizes that emotional clarity attracts money more effectively than emotional intensity, a deeper truth emerges, one that leads them straight into the next layer of their journey, uncovering the emotional blocks that secretly repel the very wealth they're trying to attract. Most people don't realize that their biggest obstacles to wealth attraction are not strategic, they're emotional patterns quietly running in the background. Fear, urgency, and worry operate like static in the money frequency, distorting the signal of abundance energy even when someone consciously wants prosperity. A person can repeat affirmations all day, but if their nervous system is whispering, I don't feel safe, the universe listens to the whisper. Emotional alignment requires spotting these subtle patterns before they sabotage financial breakthrough. And they almost always hide in plain sight. Fear often disguises itself as being realistic, even though it's really just emotional regulation gone offline. It shows up when someone hesitates to invest in themselves, delays decisions, or assumes things won't work out. But beneath those behaviors is a vibrational wealth blockage that keeps opportunities at a distance. Think of fear as a heavy coat someone forgets they're wearing, one that makes them move slower, notice less, and shrink their wealthy identity. When fear leads, wealth tends to retreat, sensing instability in the energetic alignment. Urgency is another sneaky blocker because it pretends to be motivation. But urgency carries a scarcity pulse, like telling the universe, I need this now or everything falls apart. This vibration repels abundance because it signals emotional incoherence. Imagine two people entering a negotiation, one relaxed, the other rushing with a tight jaw and darting eyes. Even without words, everyone in the room senses which one holds high-frequency emotions and which one is operating from lack. Money picks up on these cues too. It gravitates toward steadiness, not desperation. Worry is perhaps the most common emotional leak. It drains the prosperity vibration by constantly projecting negative possibilities, even in moments where everything is actually okay. A person may check their bank account with dread, interpret delays as failure, or assume abundance is for other people. This creates energetic alignment with scarcity rather than abundance mindset. Ironically, worry often feels responsible, but it's actually a form of emotional self-sabotage. It conditions the nervous system to expect loss, and the external world eventually mirrors that expectation through missed chances or stalled growth. These emotional blocks also affect behavior. Someone who fears scarcity avoids opportunities, someone who feels urgency makes rushed decisions, and someone who worries remains mentally exhausted. None of these states align with wealth attraction. If a person wants to attract money, they must first release the emotional habits that keep abundance energy from landing. It's a bit like clearing debris from a riverbank. The water was always ready to flow, but the blockages kept it from moving freely. Remove the debris, and the river remembers its natural path. One of the most powerful things a mentor can teach is that emotional coherence is not about never feeling fear, urgency, or worry. It's about noticing when those emotions hijack the system and gently returning to equilibrium. A simple grounding practice, such as placing a hand on the chest and breathing slowly, can interrupt old patterns and re-establish energetic alignment. These micro-moments of awareness gradually reshape someone's wealthy identity, helping them hold high-frequency emotions with more ease. And ease is a magnetic language the universe understands well. As someone begins dissolving these hidden blocks, the emotional field becomes lighter, clearer, and more receptive. They start feeling safer internally, which is the doorway to deeper abundance. And it's precisely here, right when the blocks loosen, that a remarkable shift occurs, the emergence of inner safety, a state that transforms their relationship with financial manifestation and opens the path for the next evolution of prosperity. Inner safety is one of the most underestimated components of wealth attraction, yet it shapes someone's money frequency more powerfully than any strategy. When a person feels safe inside themselves, emotional alignment becomes effortless, and abundance energy begins flowing toward them with less resistance. It's similar to how a plant thrives only when the soil is stable. Growth simply doesn't happen in shaky ground. Inner safety is that stable soil. Without it, even the best intentions collapse under emotional pressure. A person anchored in inner safety moves through life differently. They make decisions from clarity rather than panic, creating a steadier prosperity vibration that the universe easily recognizes. Emotional regulation becomes second nature because nothing inside them is fighting for survival. Instead of thinking, I must secure this opportunity, they think, I can evaluate whether this aligns with my wealthy identity. This shift from survival to sovereignty changes everything. Money responds to sovereignty like metal responds to a magnet, quietly and consistently. Inner safety also softens the nervous system, reducing the static created by old scarcity patterns. When someone no longer carries chronic tension in their chest or tightness in their gut, their energetic alignment becomes smoother and more inviting. People around them can sense this ease. It shows up in how they speak, how they breathe, how they hold space in a room. Even business conversations feel different. There's a calm confidence that signals readiness for financial breakthrough. That readiness is far more attractive to wealth than restless ambition. Consider how someone behaves when they don't feel safe financially. They check their accounts obsessively, overthink every decision, or accept opportunities out of fear rather than alignment. These actions send mixed signals into the money frequency, making abundance harder to stabilize. But when inner safety enters the picture, actions become intentional instead of reactive. They'll invest in a course not because they're afraid to fall behind, but because it genuinely matches their abundance mindset. They'll negotiate from grounded presence rather than emotional turbulence. These subtle shifts create measurable outcomes. Inner safety also supports high-frequency emotions such as trust, clarity, and calm certainty. These emotions form the bedrock of emotional coherence, allowing someone to attract money without gripping it tightly. Trust, for example, tells the universe, I believe in my capacity to receive, and that belief becomes a vibrational match for wealth attraction. Clarity removes emotional fog, revealing paths that were previously hidden. And calm certainty helps the individual take aligned risks, like raising prices, launching new offers, or entering high-value spaces, without emotional collapse. One of the simplest practices to cultivate inner safety is reconnecting with the body. Placing a hand on the heart, slowing the breath, and telling the nervous system we're okay may feel insignificant, but it recalibrates the entire internal environment. This is emotional regulation at its most essential level. Over time, this becomes the person's default energetic alignment, making abundance energy feel not just possible but natural. And once it feels natural, it becomes sustainable. Wealth doesn't slip through the cracks anymore because the foundation holding it is stable. As someone embodies inner safety, they begin noticing new financial opportunities appearing with almost uncanny timing. It's not coincidence, it's coherence. When the internal world becomes a safe place, the external world mirrors that safety through abundance. And this prepares the individual for the next step on the journey, learning how to calibrate the nervous system so it can hold even greater levels of prosperity without collapsing under the weight of expansion. Topic 5. Calibrating your nervous system for prosperity. Prosperity requires more than desire, it requires capacity. And capacity is built inside the nervous system, long before it's reflected in someone's bank account. When a person tries to attract money without calibrating their emotional regulation, they often experience internal overload, excitement flips into anxiety, opportunities feel overwhelming, or abundance energy slips away because the system can't hold it yet. True wealth attraction begins when the body feels capable of supporting prosperity vibration without going into survival mode. This is where emotional alignment becomes a lived experience rather than a mental intention. Think of the nervous system as the container for your wealthy identity. If the container is too small or too fragile, it cracks under pressure, even good pressure. Many people sabotage financial breakthrough not because they don't want wealth, but because their system isn't calibrated to receive it. You can see this when someone suddenly earns more money and then unconsciously overspends or shuts down. Their energetic alignment was asking for abundance, but their nervous system was still anchored in scarcity patterns. Capacity always dictates what stays, not just what arrives. Calibrating the nervous system starts with creating emotional safety around expansion. When someone practices grounding techniques, like slow breathing, warm showers, or a 5-minute walk before making decisions, they soften the edges of internal resistance. High-frequency emotions such as trust and clarity become more accessible. This emotional coherence sends a steady message into their money frequency: I can hold more. I can receive more. I can sustain more. And the universe responds to sustained signals far more willingly than unstable spikes of intensity. A practical mentor would suggest small expansion exercises: increase your prices by 5%, save an extra $20 a week, or allow yourself to take one aligned risk you've been postponing. These micro-actions stretch the nervous system without overwhelming it. Each step reinforces abundance mindset and builds energetic alignment one layer at a time. It's similar to strength training: no one lifts the heaviest weight on the first day, but consistent, balanced effort builds the capacity that once seemed impossible. Prosperity follows the same logic. When the nervous system is calm, opportunities feel exciting instead of threatening. Someone regulated can evaluate investments, collaborations, or new revenue streams with clarity rather than panic. They don't confuse growth with danger. This is one of the most overlooked secrets of wealth attraction: money gravitates toward people who make it feel safe. A dysregulated system pushes abundance away because it broadcasts emotional chaos, while a regulated system emits stability. And stability is irresistible to abundance energy. Another important element of calibration is learning to hold pleasure and success without shrinking. Many people feel physically uncomfortable when good things happen: they tense up, doubt themselves, or wait for something to go wrong. This discomfort is a sign that their nervous system still associates expansion with threat. Practicing savoring, taking 30 seconds to feel gratitude or joy in the body, helps rewire this pattern. Over time, the system learns that wealth, ease, and opportunity are safe. And once they're safe, they become sustainable. As someone strengthens their capacity to hold prosperity, they naturally shift into a different emotional frequency, one marked by calm confidence, grounded expansion, and readiness for bigger opportunities. And it's exactly this emotional state that leads to the next transformative insight on the journey, understanding the emotional signature of people who attract money with astonishing ease, as if wealth were simply responding to their internal rhythm. Someone who attracts money with ease doesn't rely on force, luck, or dramatic manifestation rituals. They operate from a quiet emotional signature that sends a clear signal into the money frequency. Their energy feels calm, grounded, and unmistakably coherent. They don't chase abundance, they embody it. This embodiment comes from emotional alignment rather than emotional intensity, which is why their presence alone seems to invite financial breakthrough. Their vibration says, "I know who I am," and money gravitates toward that certainty almost instinctively. Calm is one of the core emotional ingredients in this signature. But it's not a passive calm, it's a confident calm rooted in emotional regulation. You can feel it in their voice, see it in their posture, and sense it in the timing of their decisions. They don't rush, yet they're never stagnant. This steadiness creates powerful energetic alignment because calm minds make aligned choices, and aligned choices compound into abundance energy. Their calmness becomes a lighthouse for opportunities, guiding wealth toward them without effortful striving. Clarity is another defining component. When someone holds high-frequency emotions consistently, their inner landscape becomes free of emotional clutter. They know what they want, why they want it, and what aligns with their wealthy identity. This clarity prevents them from wasting energy on misaligned opportunities. Even in moments of uncertainty, they trust themselves enough to move forward. Clarity is magnetic because it removes hesitation from the vibrational field. Money rarely enters cloudy spaces, it thrives where the signal is clean. Confidence is the emotional tone that ties everything together, not loud confidence, but the steady confidence of someone who feels safe inside their own body. They don't need validation to attract money, their emotional coherence already affirms their worthiness. This confidence allows them to take calculated risks, negotiate without shrinking, and set boundaries with grace. It's the kind of inner posture that wealth responds to almost immediately. People sense it and feel compelled to collaborate, invest, or open doors. You can witness this emotional signature in real-life examples: the entrepreneur who raises their prices without fear, the artist who trusts their creativity, the professional who enters a room and is treated as capable before speaking a word. These individuals share something deeper than skill, they share prosperity vibration. Their emotional alignment says, "I expect good things, and so good things arrive." This expectation is not entitlement, it's emotional coherence. The universe interprets coherence as readiness. What's fascinating is that this emotional signature is not something people are born with, it's something they cultivate intentionally. Through grounding practices, aligned choices, self-trust rituals, and micro-moments of regulation, they strengthen their capacity to hold wealth. Over time, this becomes their natural state. They stop oscillating between scarcity and abundance, their energy stabilizes. And that stability creates a field of wealth attraction that feels almost supernatural, though it's simply emotional precision in action. Once someone adopts this emotional signature, life begins to respond in new ways, opportunities appear unexpectedly, doors open effortlessly, and aligned connections flow in. And as they soak in this new flow, they begin to sense something even more exciting: the way expansion-based emotions don't just attract wealth but unlock entirely new money possibilities that were previously outside their field of awareness. Expansion-based emotions, like curiosity, openness, enthusiasm, and grounded excitement, operate like keys that unlock doors someone didn't even know existed in their financial reality. While contraction closes perception, expansion widens the field of possibility, allowing the mind to notice opportunities aligned with abundance energy. These emotions shift the money frequency from surviving to stretching, a subtle but powerful difference. And when someone stretches energetically, the universe stretches back, often in ways that feel surprising, even magical. Curiosity is one of the simplest expansion-based emotions, yet people underestimate its financial power. A curious mind is willing to explore instead of retreat, ask instead of assume, try instead of freeze. Curiosity supports emotional regulation because it replaces fear with exploration. A person with emotional alignment grounded in curiosity doesn't panic when something unexpected happens, they lean in. And leaning in opens pathways that someone in scarcity would never see. Wealth attraction loves curiosity because it signals readiness for growth. Openness is another expansion emotion that shifts prosperity vibration almost instantly. When someone feels open, their energetic alignment becomes spacious rather than restricted. They listen more deeply, observe more clearly, and interpret opportunities from a lens of possibility rather than caution. Imagine someone walking into a room expecting connection instead of rejection, the entire landscape of that room changes for them. Money opportunities appear more frequently to those who energetically open the door before opportunity knocks. Enthusiasm, when regulated, amplifies high-frequency emotions in a way that invites abundance. The key is grounded enthusiasm, not the frantic excitement that comes from scarcity, but the warm, steady glow that says, "I'm willing to step forward." This kind of enthusiasm increases emotional coherence because it unites desire with stability. And when those two forces merge, financial breakthrough becomes far more accessible. Money can sense when excitement is genuine rather than compensatory. Genuine enthusiasm is magnetic. Expansion emotions also shift how people behave. Someone anchored in abundance mindset naturally takes more aligned risks, speaks more boldly, invests with clearer intention, and follows intuitive nudges without second-guessing every step. This is energetic alignment expressing itself through action. They might reach out to a potential collaborator, create a new offer, or explore a revenue stream that once felt intimidating. These actions often lead to unexpected wealth attraction because expansion-based emotions widen their field of influence. As a mentor might say, expansion puts someone in the right place at the right time, not because of luck, but because of frequency. High-frequency emotions guide people toward environments, conversations, and decisions that resonate with their wealthy identity. The more expansive they feel, the more expansive their outer world becomes. It's emotional physics in motion. Opportunities that were once invisible suddenly feel obvious, as if they were hiding behind a curtain that expansion effortlessly pulls back. Over time, expansion-based emotions create a new baseline in the nervous system, a baseline that expects growth instead of contraction. And when this becomes someone's natural state, something powerful happens. They begin recognizing the emotional habits that keep abundance flowing and start releasing the scarcity-based emotions that once limited their financial potential. Which leads naturally to the next step, learning to replace scarcity emotions with abundance emotions that amplify wealth effortlessly. Replacing scarcity emotions with abundance emotions is not about pretending everything is fine, it's about learning to redirect the emotional current that shapes your money frequency. Scarcity emotions like doubt, pressure, and hopelessness create a contracted vibration that blocks wealth attraction. But when someone consciously shifts into abundance energy, calm trust, grounded optimism, steady confidence, their emotional alignment strengthens, and life begins responding with more generosity. This shift isn't forced, it's practiced, like tuning an internal instrument to a more harmonious frequency. One of the most effective ways to replace scarcity is to recognize it the moment it appears. Doubt, for example, often whispers quietly, "What if this doesn't work?" Instead of fighting that whisper, a person with emotional regulation can meet it with curiosity and ask, "What if it does?" This small shift flips the internal script and activates emotional coherence. It's not delusion, it's choosing a healthier perspective. And that choice slowly rewires the emotional patterns that determine financial breakthrough. With repetition, doubt loses its grip. Pressure is another scarcity emotion that drains prosperity vibration. It convinces people that success must happen fast or it doesn't count. But pressure collapses the nervous system and invites impulsive choices. Replacing pressure with patience is one of the most powerful abundance emotions someone can cultivate. Patience grounded in energetic alignment says, "I trust the timing because I trust myself." This creates a stable internal field where opportunities feel welcome rather than demanded. Money responds beautifully to spaciousness. Hopelessness is trickier because it often comes from old emotional wounds. But even hopelessness can be softened with the right abundance emotion, possibility. A person doesn't need to believe something will happen, only that it could. Possibility is a gentle but potent emotional bridge. It moves someone from emotional collapse into emotional alignment. It helps them take one more step, try one more idea, or open one more door. Possibility is one of the most underestimated high-frequency emotions when building a wealthy identity. To make these replacements practical, imagine this scenario: someone opens their bank account and feels that familiar drop in the stomach. Instead of spiraling into scarcity, they pause and breathe deeply, anchoring into emotional regulation. Then they choose a replacement emotion, perhaps gratitude for the money they do have or confidence in their ability to create more. This conscious redirection shifts the emotional frequency immediately. The external numbers don't change yet, but the internal vibration does, and that's where change truly begins. Over time, replacing scarcity with abundance emotions becomes second nature. The nervous system learns to default to trust instead of fear, curiosity instead of worry, and openness instead of contraction. This emotional coherence amplifies energetic alignment, making abundance energy easier to maintain. What once felt like hard work becomes a natural emotional habit. These new emotional patterns reinforce wealth attraction not through force, but through resonance. And as these emotional replacements stabilize, something remarkable starts to unfold. Daily habits begin aligning with this new emotional baseline. The person no longer needs to push for abundance, they simply live in a way that invites it. Which leads directly into the next stage of financial transformation. Emotional habits are like quiet architects shaping your long-term money frequency. While big breakthroughs feel exciting, it's the small, daily emotional practices that stabilize abundance energy and make wealth attraction sustainable. These habits don't need to be dramatic, in fact, the simplest ones create the strongest energetic alignment. When someone learns to care for their emotional field the way they care for their home, life becomes far more generous. Emotional alignment becomes a lifestyle, not a moment. One powerful habit is beginning the day with a grounding check-in. Just 60 seconds of slow breathing, placing a hand on the chest, or repeating a calming intention aligns the nervous system before external chaos can hijack it. This practice sets the tone for high-frequency emotions like clarity and confidence to guide the day. A stable start signals emotional coherence, allowing the mind and body to operate from wealth, not from worry. Over time, this tiny ritual shapes a wealthy identity from the inside out. Another habit is responding, not reacting, to financial triggers. When someone receives an unexpected bill, a delayed payment, or a slow sales day, the old habit might be panic. But the new habit can be pausing and choosing emotional regulation. This simple shift transforms emotional frequency immediately. A regulated response broadcasts abundance mindset, while a reactive one reinforces scarcity. Imagine receiving a challenging email and choosing to breathe, sip water, and answer from grounded clarity. That tiny choice alters both your vibration and your results. Practicing conscious gratitude is also essential, but not the forced kind. It's about noticing the money that does flow in, no matter the amount. When gratitude becomes a daily emotional habit, it strengthens prosperity vibration by affirming that wealth is already present. A mentor might suggest noting 3 forms of abundance each evening: money received, help offered, or opportunities noticed. This trains the nervous system to focus on expansion rather than lack, reinforcing energetic alignment effortlessly. Emotional decluttering is another transformative habit. This means catching repetitive scarcity thoughts and gently interrupting them before they spiral. When someone replaces "it's not enough" with "I can create more," they practice emotional alignment in real time. It's not avoidance, it's recalibration. This rewiring becomes automatic with repetition, and soon the mind operates from abundance energy without conscious effort. Emotional habits become emotional identity, and identity is the strongest magnet for wealth attraction. Building moments of pleasure into the day also strengthens wealth frequency. Pleasure signals safety to the nervous system, which deepens emotional coherence. Whether it's drinking coffee slowly, taking a sunset walk, or listening to a favorite song, pleasure expands the emotional field. Scarcity collapses it. These moments teach the body, good things are allowed. Good things are normal. A nervous system that feels safe with pleasure becomes a nervous system that feels safe with prosperity. Over time, these emotional habits accumulate into a powerful internal ecosystem, stable, receptive, and tuned to abundance energy. The person begins to notice that opportunities arrive more easily, intuition becomes clearer, and money flows with less resistance. And this sets the stage for the final, profound realization: when mind, body, and emotions move in complete harmony, something extraordinary happens. The speed of financial manifestation accelerates in ways that feel almost inevitable. Financial manifestation accelerates dramatically when emotional coherence becomes the default state. Emotional coherence happens when your thoughts, emotions, and body signals all speak the same language, an inner yes that echoes through your entire being. When someone reaches this level of alignment, their money frequency becomes unmistakably clear. There's no inner contradiction, no conflicting vibration, no silent resistance. The universe responds faster because there's nothing slowing the signal down. Emotional alignment is no longer an effort, it's a rhythm. Imagine someone desiring abundance while feeling fear in their chest and doubt in their stomach. Their mind says, "I want wealth," but their body says, "I don't trust it." This is emotional incoherence. It confuses the field of abundance energy and delays manifestation. But when the body feels safe, the mind feels certain, and the emotions feel regulated, a unified frequency emerges. That unity creates energetic alignment strong enough to influence circumstances with surprising speed. Life rearranges itself around coherence like metal filings organizing around a magnet. Emotional coherence also enhances clarity, which shortens the path to financial breakthrough. When someone is coherent internally, intuitive insights come through quickly and cleanly. They know which ideas to pursue, which opportunities to decline, and which actions have true energetic potency. This clarity reduces wasted time and eliminates detours created by emotional confusion. High-frequency emotions like trust, calm certainty, and inner spaciousness guide decisions with precision. Manifestation speeds up because the person stops walking in circles. Another reason coherence accelerates wealth attraction is that it stabilizes the nervous system. A regulated system sends a consistent vibrational message instead of fluctuating between abundance mindset and scarcity panic. Consistency is incredibly powerful in the energetic realm. Wealth responds to signals that don't contradict themselves. When emotional regulation holds steady, the universe interprets it as readiness. This is why people often experience sudden opportunities after weeks of inner work, not because the external world changed, but because their internal frequency finally stopped wobbling. Coherence also strengthens someone's wealthy identity, making abundance feel natural instead of extraordinary. They stop trying to become wealthy and start behaving as if wealth is already integrated into who they are. This shift is subtle but profound. When identity and emotion merge, manifestation accelerates because the person no longer operates from a gap between who they are and who they want to be. Their vibration becomes a match rather than a request. The universe responds to matches with remarkable speed. A practical example: someone with emotional coherence might receive an inspired idea and act on it within hours instead of hesitating for weeks. They trust the internal nudge because their emotions and body are aligned with their thoughts. This immediacy amplifies momentum. Opportunities multiply. Pathways open. Money follows the trail of coherence because coherence removes friction. Emotional alignment becomes the engine, and abundance energy becomes the road. As coherence deepens, people often report experiencing synchronicities, unexpected clients, timely invitations, sudden insights, because their internal state is finally synchronized with prosperity vibration. Manifestation becomes less about trying and more about allowing. And as this natural flow strengthens, the person begins to understand that the next evolution of their journey is not just coherence, but the ability to apply everything they've learned with intention, courage, and consistent emotional presence.